The sun hadn't yet cleared the rooftops of Willow Creek, a gated community where manicured lawns and pastel-trimmed houses stood as silent sentinels of suburban order. Aisha Carter pulled her 10-year-old son, Jamal, closer as they walked toward the bus stop. Her sneakers scuffed against the pristine sidewalk, the only sound besides the distant hum of a lawnmower. She glanced at her watch, 6:47 a.m., early enough to avoid the prying eyes of the homeowners association, or so she thought. Aisha's modest two-story home, tucked at the end of Magnolia Lane, was the only rental in a neighborhood of owners. She'd moved here 6 months ago, seeking a safe place for Jamal after a messy divorce. The school district was top-rated, the streets quiet, but safety came with a cost, the HOA relentless scrutiny. Her mailbox, painted a cheerful yellow, had earned her a $1.50 fine for nonconformity. Her front yard's single rosebush, a gift from Jamal, prompted a warning letter about unauthorized landscaping. Aisha paid the fines, kept her head down, and taught Jamal to do the same. This morning, though, something felt off. A white SUV idled across the street, its tinted windows reflecting the dawn. Aisha's grip on Jamal's hand tightened. "Stay close, baby," she murmured. He nodded, his backpack bouncing as they hurried past. At the bus stop, Mrs. Karen Whitaker, the HOA president, stood with her arms crossed, her platinum bob gleaming. Her son, Tyler, kicked at a pebble, ignoring Jamal. Karen's smile was all teeth. "Morning, Aisha. I see your mailbox is still vibrant." Aisha forced a nod. "Good morning, Karen. I'll repaint it this weekend." She couldn't afford another fine, not with her nursing shift at the hospital stretching into overtime. Karen's eyes narrowed. "See that you do. We have standards here." She paused, her gaze flicking to the SUV. "Oh, and I've reported a suspicious vehicle loitering near your house. Can't be too careful." Aisha's stomach dropped. "Suspicious? It's just parked." Karen shrugged. "Better safe than sorry. The police are on their way." She turned away, ushering Tyler onto the approaching bus. Jamal climbed aboard, waving at Aisha, oblivious to the tension. As the bus pulled away, the SUV engine roared to life. It rolled forward, stopping beside Aisha. The window slid down, revealing a man in a polo shirt, his badge glinting. "Ma'am, I'm Officer Daniels. We got a call about a disturbance at your residence. Mind coming with me?" Aisha's heart pounded. "Disturbance? I just left my house. Everything's fine." Daniel's expression didn't soften. "We'll need to check. Get in." She hesitated, her nurse's instincts screaming to stay calm. "I have work in an hour. Can this wait?" "No, ma'am, it can't." His tone was final. Aisha climbed into the SUV, her mind racing. She'd done nothing wrong, but Willow Creek wasn't her world. Here, a single black mom with a rented house was an outsider, and outsiders didn't get the benefit of the doubt. At her house, 2 more police cars waited, lights flashing. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains. Karen stood on her porch, phone in hand, recording. Officer Daniels led Aisha inside, where her living room was already being searched by 2 other officers. "What's this about?" she demanded, her voice shaking. "Anonymous tip," Daniels said. "Possible illegal activity. We're checking for drugs, weapons." Aisha's blood ran cold. "Drugs? I'm a nurse." "I don't, ma'am. Stay calm." Daniels interrupted. "We'll be thorough." They tore through her home. Couch cushions unzipped, drawers emptied, Jamal's comic books scattered. Aisha stood frozen, her fists clenched. She wanted to scream, to call her lawyer, but she had no lawyer. She had shifts, bills, and a son to protect. So she stood, silent, as her life was dismantled. Hours passed. The officers found nothing. No drugs, no weapons, just a single mom's modest life. Daniels handed her a citation for disorderly premises, a vague charge with a $200 fine. "Keep your nose clean," he said, tipping his cap before leaving. Aisha sank onto her couch, the citation crumpled in her hand, her phone buzzed. A text from her supervisor, late for shift. Warning issued. She buried her face in her hands, the weight of Willow Creek crushing her. But beneath the fear, anger flickered. Someone had targeted her, and she knew who. She grabbed her phone and dialed the only number she hadn't called in years. It rang twice before a deep voice answered. "Aisha, you okay?" "Daddy," she whispered, tears spilling, "I need you." General Marcus Carter, commander of the U.S. military's most elite special operations unit, listened as his daughter recounted the morning. His voice was steel. "I'm coming. Stay strong." Aisha hung up, staring at the citation. She didn't know what her father would do, but she knew one thing: Willow Creek had just made a mistake. The police cars were gone by noon, but the neighborhood buzzed. Karen Whitaker sat at her dining table, sipping Chardonnay, her laptop open to the HOA private forum. Her post was already racking up likes. "Suspicious activity at 47 Magnolia Lane addressed. Police handled it." Standards upheld, she smiled, refreshing the page. Karen had ruled Willow Creek's HOA for 5 years. Her husband, Greg, a real estate developer, funded her campaigns, and her allies, mostly wealthy, mostly white, kept her in power. Aisha's arrival had been a thorn in her side. A renter, a single mom, and black. Karen saw her as a threat to property values, a crack in the neighborhood's perfect facade. The anonymous tip had been easy. Karen's cousin worked dispatch at the police station. A few words and the wheels turned. She didn't expect the black sedan that pulled into Aisha's driveway at 1 p.m. The man who stepped out was tall, broad-shouldered, his graying hair cropped close. His suit was impeccable, but his eyes, sharp, unyielding, belonged to a battlefield. Karen watched from her window, her glass forgotten. Who was this? Marcus Carter didn't knock. Aisha flung the door open, falling into his arms. "Daddy," she sobbed. He held her, his jaw tight, then guided her inside. Karen strained to hear, but the door shut. Inside, Marcus surveyed the wreckage of Aisha's home. "They did this?" he asked, his voice low. Aisha nodded. "Police said it was a tip." "I know it was, Karen." Marcus' eyes darkened. He'd spent 30 years in the shadows, leading Delta Force through missions no one spoke of. He'd faced warlords, terrorists, and governments, but this, his daughter, targeted in her own home, cut deeper than any bullet. "Tell me everything," he said. Aisha recounted the fines, the warnings, the SUV, the search. Marcus listened, his hands clasped, every detail filed away. When she finished, he stood. "I need to make some calls. You rest." He stepped onto the porch, his phone already at his ear. "Colonel Reyes," he said, "I need a favor, discreet. Background on a Willow Creek HOA, specifically Karen Whitaker, and cross-check local PD activity today, 47 Magnolia Lane. Full report, 2 hours." Aisha watched from the window, her father's silhouette a fortress against the world. She didn't know what he was planning, but she felt the shift. The hunter had arrived. By 3 p.m., Karen was rattled. The sedan hadn't left, and her forum post was drawing questions, not just praise. "What activity?" one neighbor asked. "Seems excessive," wrote another. She typed a reply, "Safety first," but her fingers trembled. She called Greg. "Some guys at Aisha's. Looks important. Can you check with your golf buddy at the precinct?" Greg grunted. On it. Don't worry, babe, she's just a nurse. Probably her boyfriend. Karen hung up, unconvinced. She grabbed her keys and marched to Aisha's house, her HOA binder under her arm. Time to remind Aisha who ran Willow Creek. She knocked sharply. Aisha opened the door, her eyes red but steady. Behind her, Marcus stood, arms crossed. Karen faltered. I came to discuss your mailbox, she said, clutching her binder. Marcus stepped forward. Karen Whitaker, right, HOA president. Karen straightened. Yes, and you are Marcus Carter, Aisha's father. His tone was calm, but his presence filled the doorway. I hear you've been diligent about neighborhood standards. Karen swallowed. We maintain order here. Aisha's had multiple violations, like a yellow mailbox, a Marcus cut in, or a rosebush. Funny how those warrant police raids. Karen's face flushed. That was a safety concern. An anonymous tip. Anonymous, Marcus repeated, his eyes boring into hers. Convenient. Aisha stepped beside her father. Karen, you've been after me since I moved here. Why? Karen's lips thinned. I protect this community. Renters don't belong. She stopped, realizing her mistake. Marcus' smile was cold. Go on, he said. Finish that thought. Karen backpedaled. I have a meeting. We'll discuss this later. She turned, nearly tripping as she fled. Marcus watched her go, his phone buzzing. He answered, Ray's, what do you have? Colonel Ray's voice was crisp. Karen Whitaker, 42, married to Greg Whitaker, real estate mogul. HOA president since 2020. Multiple complaints filed against non-white residents, all renters. Local PD dispatch log shows her cousin, Lisa Monroe, flagged Aisha's address for suspicious activity at 6:30 a.m. No evidence, just a verbal request. Daniels, the lead officer, has a history of excessive force, tied to Greg's donations to the police union. Marcus' grip tightened. Anything else? Karen's pushing to amend HOA bylaws. Wants to ban rentals outright. Votes tonight, 7 p.m., community center. Marcus hung up, turning to Aisha. They're organized, but so are we. You up for a fight? Aisha nodded, her fear hardening into resolve. What's the plan? Marcus' eyes gleamed. We're going to that meeting. The community center was packed by 6:45 p.m. Folding chairs lined the room, filled with neighbors whispering about the day's drama. Karen stood at the podium, her smile strained. Greg sat in the front row, texting. Aisha and Marcus entered, heads high, taking seats in the back. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Karen banged her gavel. Order, please. Tonight, we vote on Bylaw Amendment 12, prohibiting rentals in Willow Creek. This ensures property values and community cohesion. Aisha's neighbor, Mr. Patel, raised his hand. What's the evidence rentals hurt values? My son rents and he's no trouble. Karen's smile tightened. Studies show owner-occupied homes stabilize neighborhoods. Renters lack commitment. Marcus stood, his voice cutting through the room. Mind sharing those studies, Mrs. Whitaker? Or is this about something else? Karen froze. Who are you, sir? General Marcus Carter, U.S. Army, Aisha's father. He stepped forward, his presence commanding. I'm curious why my daughter's home was raided today, based on your cousin's tip. No drugs, no weapons, just a single mom and her kid. Care to explain? The room went silent. Greg shifted, his phone forgotten. Karen stammered, I don't control the police, but you called them. Marcus said, holding up his phone, I have the dispatch log. Lisa Monroe, your cousin, flagged Aisha's address. No evidence, just your word. Whispers erupted. Karen banged her gavel. This is irrelevant. The vote, no. Aisha said, standing. It's relevant. You've targeted me for months. Fines, warnings, now this. Why? Because I'm black, a renter, or just not your kind of neighbor. The room tensed. Mrs. Nguyen, a retired teacher, stood. I've seen your fines, Karen. Always the same families. Patels, Garcias, now Aisha. Explain that. Karen's face reddened. I protect standards. Whose standards? Marcus asked. He turned to the crowd. I've spent my life defending freedom. That includes the right to live without harassment. Karen's amendment isn't about values, it's about control. Her husband profits when renters leave, flipping their homes for millions. Check his company's records. Greg shot up. That's slander, is it? Marcus said, his voice ice. I have a team digging into your finances. Want to test me? The room exploded in shouts. Neighbors demanded answers. Karen's gavel was useless. Aisha met her father's eyes, pride swelling. He'd turned the tide. By 8 p.m., the meeting was chaos. Karen's amendment failed, 62-38. Neighbors, emboldened, called for her resignation. Greg stormed out, Karen trailing, her binder abandoned. Aisha and Marcus stayed, answering questions, shaking hands. Mr. Patel clapped Aisha's shoulder. You've got guts, kid. Outside, Marcus pulled Aisha close. You okay? She nodded, tears falling. Thank you, Daddy. He smiled. Nobody messes with my girl. As they walked home, a police car slowed beside them. Daniels leaned out. Heard you stirred things up, General. Watch your step. Marcus met his gaze. You watch yours, son. My team's already flagged your record. One more move, and you're done. Daniels paled, speeding off. Aisha laughed, the sound light in the night. Willow Creek wasn't hers yet, but it was no longer Karen's. Aisha woke at 5 a.m., her body aching from the day before. The house was quiet, Jamal still asleep upstairs. Marcus was already in the kitchen, coffee brewing, his laptop open. He looked up as she entered. Morning, kid. Sleep okay? Barely. She admitted, pouring a mug. What's next? Karen won't stop. Marcus nodded. She's wounded, not down, but we've got leverage now. Ray's sent more intel overnight. Aisha sat, peering at the screen. Emails, financial records, even a grainy photo of Greg shaking hands with Daniels at a fundraiser. How'd you get this? Marcus' smile was cryptic. Friends in high places. Point is, Karen's network runs deep. Greg's money, her cousin at Dispatch, Daniel's badge, but they're sloppy. We expose that, they crumble. Aisha sipped her coffee, her mind sharpening. The neighbors are on our side now. Can we use that? Exactly, Marcus said. We build a coalition, you lead it. Me? Aisha's eyes widened. I'm no general. You're tougher than half my unit. Marcus said, his voice firm. You raised Jamal alone, worked doubles, took Karen's crap without breaking. You've got this. Aisha exhaled, nodding. Okay. What's the plan? Marcus outlined it. Rally the neighbors, file a formal complaint against Karen with the HOA board, and push for a special election to replace her. Meanwhile, he'd handle the police angle, using his contacts to pressure Daniel's precinct. We hit them from both sides, he said, fast, before they regroup. Aisha glanced at the clock. 5:30 a.m. I'll start with Mrs. Nguyen. She's got sway. Marcus grinned. That's my girl. By 7 a.m., Aisha was at Mrs. Nguyen's doorstep, a tray of muffins in hand, Jamal's contribution, baked the night before. Mrs. Nguyen, a wiry woman with sharp eyes, ushered her in. Aisha, you and your father shook things up. About time someone stood up to Karen. Aisha, set the muffins down. We need your help. Karen's still president, and she'll come after us harder now. We want her out. Mrs. New in poured tea, her movements precise. I've lived here 20 years. Karen's the worst we've had. She fined me for my bamboo trellis, called it exotic. What do you need, neighbors? Aisha said. A petition to force a special election, and your voice. People listen to you, Mrs. New in sipped her tea, considering. I'm in. Start with the Patels, Garcias, and the Lees. They've all got stories about Karen. I'll call the old Gar. Retirees like me. We're quiet, but we vote. Aisha smiled, relief flooding her. Thank you, Mrs. Nguyen waved her off. Don't thank me yet. Karen's got money and spite. She'll fight dirty. By 10 a.m., Aisha had knocked on 6 doors. The Patels signed the petition instantly, recounting their own fines for unapproved Diwali lights. The Garcias, a young couple, hesitated but joined after hearing about the police raid. The Lees, whose son had been stopped by Daniels for looking suspicious while jogging, signed with fury. Aisha's clipboard filled with names, each signature a brick in her wall. Back home, Marcus was on the phone, his voice clipped. Captain Holt, I need that audit on Daniels' unit. Prioritize complaints from Magnolia Lane residents and loop in internal affairs. He hung up, turning to Aisha. Progress, 20 signatures, she said, holding up the clipboard. Mrs. Nguyen's rallying the retirees. Marcus nodded, impressed. Good. I've got a meeting with the precinct chief at noon. Holt's an old friend, he'll dig into Daniels, but we need more on Greg. His money's the backbone. Aisha frowned. How do we get that? Marcus tapped his laptop. Ray's is pulling property records. Greg's company's been buying for closed homes in Willow Creek, flipping them for triple. If we tie that to Karen's renter ban, it's motive. Aisha's eyes lit up. The neighbors would eat that up. Exactly, Marcus said. We'll drop it at the right moment. At 11:30 a.m., Karen was in her office, a converted guest room lined with HOA binders. Her phone buzzed with texts from Greg. Daniels is spooked. Says the general's connected. Stay calm, I'm handling it. She ignored them, her nails tapping the desk. Last night's meeting had been a disaster, but she wasn't finished. Willow Creek was hers. She opened her laptop, drafting an email to the HOA board. Urgent, special meeting to address disruptive residents at 47 Magnolia Lane. Recommend immediate action. She hit send, then called her cousin Lisa. Any chatter at the station about Aisha? Lisa's voice was hushed. Daniel's got a call from some captain. They're pulling his reports, and your general, he's not just army. Word is he runs black ops, Delta Force or something. Karen's stomach twisted. Delta Force? That's ridiculous. Believe what you want, Lisa said, but Daniels is freaking out. Says the guy's got pull. Karen hung up, her confidence cracking. She needed to act fast. She grabbed her keys and headed to the community center, where her allies on the board were waiting. Marcus arrived at the precinct at noon, his suit crisp, his demeanor steel. Captain Holt, a grizzled man with a handshake like a vice, met him in a conference room. Marcus, you don't call unless it's serious. What's this about Daniels? Marcus laid out the raid, the tip, the citation. My daughter's targeted. Daniels is dirty, and he's tied to Greg Whitaker. I need him gone. Holt leaned back, sighing. Daniels is a problem, but he's got friends. Whitaker's donated heavy to the union. I'll need evidence. It's coming, Marcus said. Ray's is digging. Start with Daniels' complaint history. Magnolia Lane residents last 2 years. You'll see a pattern. Holt nodded. I'll get IA on it, but Marcus, if this blows up, it's on you. Marcus' eyes were unyielding. It's on them. By 2 p.m., Aisha's petition had 50 signatures. She and Mrs. Nguyen stood at the community center's entrance, handing out flyers, demand fairness, remove Karen Whitaker. Neighbors stopped, Reed nodded. Some joined on the spot. The momentum was electric. Inside, Karen's board meeting was unraveling. Her allies, 3 older men loyal to Greg's money, squirmed as she ranted. Aisha's father is a thug. He's intimidating residents, spreading lies. Mr. Thompson, the treasurer, cleared his throat. Karen, we saw the dispatch log. Your cousin's involved. That's a conflict. Karen's face flushed. Lisa was protecting us. From what? Mrs. Larson, the secretary, snapped. A nurse and her kid. This looks personal, Karen. Neighbors are talking. Karen slammed her binder shut. Fine, call a special election. I'll win again. Thompson shook his head. Not if Aisha runs. She's got support. Karen stormed out, her heels clicking. Outside, she saw Aisha and Mrs. Nguyen, the flyers, the crowd. Her blood boiled. She marched over, snatching a flyer. This is slander. I'll sue. Aisha stood her ground. It's the truth, Karen. Step down or we'll vote you out. Karen laughed, shrill. You a renter, you'll never belong here. Mrs. Nguyen stepped forward, her voice cutting. She belongs more than you. Go home, Karen. The crowd murmured agreement. Karen's face crumpled. She turned, fleeing to her car. Aisha watched, her heart pounding. She'd faced Karen and won. By 4 p.m., Marcus was back, his meeting with Holt a success. Internal Affairs was auditing Daniel's unit, and Reyes had sent new intel. Greg's company had bought out 3 renters' homes after HOA fines forced them out. The pattern was clear. Aisha showed him the petition's 75 signatures. We're ready, she said. Marcus nodded, pride in his eyes. One last push. We confront Greg tonight at their house, publicly. Aisha hesitated. That's bold. What if he fights back? He will, Marcus said, but we've got the truth, and I've got a surprise. At 6 p.m., Aisha and Marcus led a group of neighbors, Mrs. Nguyen, the Patels, the Garcias, to Karen's sprawling colonial. The sun was setting, casting long shadows. Greg's BMW was in the driveway, Karen's SUV beside it. Aisha's pulse raced, but Marcus' steady hand on her shoulder grounded her. Mrs. Nguyen rang the bell. Greg answered, his golf shirt rumpled. What's this? Aisha stepped forward, holding the petition. We're filing to remove Karen as HOA president. We know about your company, Greg, buying out renters, using Karen's fines to force them out. It ends now. Greg's face darkened. You're out of your depth, lady. Get off my property. Marcus moved beside Aisha, his voice low. Not until you answer. 3 homes, Greg. All renters, all fined by Karen, all sold to your company. Explain that. Greg sneered. Business is business. You can't prove. A car door slammed. Colonel Reyes stepped out, a folder in hand. Actually, we can. Property records, bank transfers, emails. Your company's been colluding with the HOA, Mr. Whitaker, and Daniels. He's under investigation. His phone's got texts from you. Greg paled. Karen appeared behind him, her eyes wide. Greg, what's he talking about? Shut up, Karen. Greg snapped, but his voice shook. The neighbors pressed closer, their anger palpable. Mrs. Nguyen held up her phone, recording. Resign, Karen, she said, or this goes viral. Karen's shoulders slumped. Fine, she whispered, I'm done. Greg grabbed her arm, pulling her inside. The door slammed. The crowd cheered, but Aisha felt no joy. She'd won, but at what cost? Marcus hugged her. You did it, kid. Aisha nodded, exhausted. Let's go home. The stars were out by 8 p.m., Willow Creek quiet except for the hum of crickets. Aisha sat on her porch, Jamal beside her, eating ice cream. Marcus leaned against the railing, his phone buzzing with updates from Ray's. Karen's resignation was official, posted to the HOA forum. Daniels was suspended, his precinct scrambling. Greg's company was under state scrutiny, its records subpoenaed. Jamal looked up, his spoon paused. "Mom, are we safe now?" Aisha pulled him close. "Yeah, baby, we are." Marcus crouched, ruffling Jamal's hair. "You've got a tough mom, kid, and a grandpa who doesn't play." Jamal grinned. "Are you really a general?" Marcus chuckled. "Something like that. But today, I'm just your grandpa." Aisha's eyes met her father's, gratitude unspoken. She'd faced Willow Creek's worst and come out stronger. The neighbors had her back now. Mrs. Nguyen was already planning the special election, with Aisha as a candidate. The thought scared her, but she was ready. A police car rolled by, its lights off. Not Daniels. Holt had pulled him off patrol. Aisha watched it pass, her fear gone. This was her home now, floors and all. Marcus stood, stretching. "I'm heading out at dawn, duty calls." Aisha's heart sank already. He smiled, soft. "You don't need me here, you've got this, but I'm a call away always." She hugged him fierce. "I love you, Daddy. I love you too, kid." By 10 p.m., the neighborhood was asleep. Aisha tucked Jamal in, his comics neatly stacked. She stood in her living room, the wreckage gone. Mrs. Nguyen's grandkids had helped clean. The citation was framed on her wall, a reminder of what she'd overcome. Her phone buzzed. A text from Mrs. Nguyen. "Elections set for next week. You're running, right?" Aisha typed back, "I'm in." She sat on her couch, the quiet wrapping around her. Willow Creek had tried to break her, but she'd broken its chains instead. Tomorrow, she'd repaint her mailbox, yellow, brighter than ever, and somewhere in a classified base, General Marcus Carter smiled, knowing his daughter was unstoppable.
If you liked this story, please like, subscribe, and share it with others so they can learn something from it too.